Hello everyone, I'm Johnnette Benkovic. Welcome to this special live simulcast of Women of Grace via EWTN television and radio. A growing number of actors, producers, directors, and CEOs of film studios are seeking to bring good moral values back to their industry. It's an arduous effort, but progress is being made. In our program today, Senator Rick Santorum, 12 years a U.S. Senator from Pennsylvania, former presidential candidate, chairman of Patriot Voices, husband and father of 7, and CEO of EchoLight Studios, will be with us to tell us how he is working to imbue the entertainment industry with a faith and family message.
We are women of grace round the throne of the Lord Most High. And we lift up our praise from the depths of our souls. Hear our cry. Oh, Lamb of God, it is our one desire to see your holy face, women of
Make no mistake about it, the media is indeed the prevailing shaper of opinion, policy, values, and culture. And that's why Senator Rick Santorum has accepted the position of CEO for EchoLight Studios, the first movie company to produce, finance, market, and distribute faith-based family films across all releasing platforms. He's here with us today to tell us more. Let's welcome Senator Rick Santorum. Senator, welcome to Women of Grace.
Thank you, Johnnette. It's good to be here.
Thank you. It's wonderful to have you here with us. First, I have to ask you this question because all of our viewers and listeners will want to know, how is Bella?
Oh, in fact, I just spoke with Bella on the way over here.
Did you?
Yes, she was having her breakfast this morning, and it's great because Bella doesn't talk as most kids talk. We say she speaks Bellish, so we sort of know her sounds and her. But she is healthy. She is ever since the campaign. Frankly, she has just done. We've found a new therapy that really helps her a lot, and she just every time we bring her to the doctors, because she has a condition which if you look at the medical journal, is a fatal condition, and these kids are not supposed to live but a few weeks or a few months, and she's 5.5, and the doctors come in and they just say, we can't explain this, and what we know is that it's a lot of prayer and a lot of love, and we just feel blessed to have in our lives, and so I just want to say to everybody, thank you for your prayers. They have made all the difference in the world to us.
Yes. It's a beautiful thing about prayer, isn't it, Senator? You feel that prayer.
Oh, no question.
And I'm sure that your whole family is edified and built up by them. So I know that so many people are always holding you very dear and very close to their hearts.
Thank you. Well, it's, as you mentioned, I'm up to a lot of different things.
Yes,
and,
you are.
I feel like, I've been blessed with the opportunity to have a voice out there in the public square, and our country is in need in so many areas that I just feel like, obviously you have a responsibility to a husband and father, but when you're given a voice, you have to use that voice as best you can, and so both in the public sphere politically and now in the entertainment industry, we're trying to do some things to reshape the culture in a way that's more in line with truth.
Yes.
And I always say the other side is full of lies and deception, and we have the truth, and we're not bold enough to go out and proclaim it, whether it's in politics or whether it's in film or whether it's in radio, whatever it is. And that's one of the great things about EWTN is you've been bold enough to proclaim the truth. And look at the blessing that you brought to the world as a result of that.
Well, it reminds us of the fact that St. Paul writes to St. Timothy, and he says, that to proclaim the truth in season and out. Yeah. It's not popular today to proclaim the truth. And
I'll show you. You go on my Facebook page, and you'll see how unpopular it is.
Well, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand because we get our share too.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, when you have been given, and I want to stress this for the sake of our viewers and for our listeners, when you've been given an opportunity to proclaim the truth, you must proclaim it. It's that whole Ezekiel thing. You're the watchman, and God's entrusted this to you, and there's a tremendous stewardship responsibility, and you're doing a magnificent job at it, I must say, in all sectors. I want to talk with you just a little bit before we get into your new position as CEO of EchoLight Studios. Let's talk for a little moment here about your political efforts. Certainly, you intend to remain in the spotlight, if you will, of politics here in the United States. So this is not a moving away from towards something new. This is a combination of effort.
Yeah, I mean, people say, well, now that you're CEO of this movie company, you're not going to run for president, or you're not going to stay involved in politics. And I said, no, you know, I'm involved with this movie company because I have to pay my bills. You know, one of the things that I have to do is, you know, work for a living, and I have blessed after the presidential campaign of having, you know, opportunities, and I thought, well, what can I do to provide for my family, because I have to do that, right?
Yep,
you have
it's
to.
your job.
I've got 3 kids in college, so and I have little Bella, and you know, 3 other children on top of that, and so I have to provide for my family, and at the same time, you know, what can I do to further the kingdom and try to do some things to help this country at the same time, and having been involved in politics as long as I have, you can see, you know this, Johnnette, that in the last 30 years in particular, the culture has shifted. And the reason the culture has shifted is because we have become more dominated by the video culture, by screens and by the internet and by movies, and it's just pervasive.
Yes.
And they are telling the stories that are shaping the moral imagination of our children. Aristotle said, give me the storytellers and I will control the country in a generation. And the storytellers are storytellers primarily who are not telling the truth about what the good, the true, and the beautiful is.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. And of course, we do know that the stories that have been told for the last 40, maybe 50, 60 years coming up on are not the stories that promote faith, not promoting family values, not promoting, exactly as you say, all of those attributes that the human person is called to idealize simply because we're created in the image and likeness of God.
That's right.
So what do you hope to do now through EchoLight Studios? I know you've got a film coming out, and we're going to be showing you the trailer, and those of you that are with us via radio, you're going to have an opportunity to hear it. But the fact of the matter is, it's a beautiful movie, and I think it gives us indication of the direction you want to take EchoLight Studios.
Yeah, this is a movie that is beautiful entertainment. One of the things that I focused in when I came to this, I said, look, I don't want to make films that are preaching. I don't want to make films that are doing the priest or pastor's job. I want to entertain. I want people to come and see our movies because it's a good movie and they have a great experience and they feel uplifted and inspired because of seeing it. And at the same time, I want to be honest about the role that faith plays in people's lives. I want to talk about faith and the challenges of faith. And in this movie in particular, we have, it's a movie, it's called The Christmas Candle. And it's a movie, it's the only movie that I've ever seen that is an Advent movie. It's a movie that starts out about a legend from this little town in England that of centuries ago, where an angel came on the first Sunday of Advent as a result of a prayer of a candle maker to help his town, and blessed a single candle. And the candle maker took it and gave it to someone during the Advent season and said, light this candle and pray. And a miracle happened to this family on Christmas Eve. And so the legend has it, every 25 years, the angel comes and blesses a candle. Someone is given that candle, and a miracle happens in this town every 25 years. Well,
what
now,
a beautiful premise
and
plot for a movie.
It is, and so this is all at the beginning of the movie. It's a little story. It's sort of a legend, and it winds up with this film now is being shot in the 1890s in Britain, Victorian England, Downton Abbey feel to the movie.
Oh wow, we like that.
Oh yeah, you'll love the feel of this movie. It's beautiful, and it says, but all legends must come to an end, and in the age of modern miracles, the light you see, you go into a little store in this town, and you see a light switch go on because now electricity is coming. It's the late 1890s. The narrator says, "Is there still room for the light of a simple candle? Is there room for faith? Is there room for miracles in the modern age?"
Oh my. Well, how moving. You tell that, and I just, do you mind me sharing the reality of what's happening here on the set? First of all, your face lights up. Second of all, you have tears in your eyes.
Do.
I can see that.
Because
and
it's
so moving.
It's the it's the rub of the world.
Yeah.
Is have we replaced God with technology and self and, you know, things that we can do on our own? We don't need him anymore.
Wow.
That's the story.
Wow. What a beautiful, beautiful synopsis of it. And I'm so eager for our viewers today and our listeners to have an opportunity to become familiar with this story. We certainly do want to encourage all of them to get out there. You're going to make me cry, Senator. I don't know what to
no,
say.
I don't. Well, let me talk about the Advent angle to it, because I saw this movie and it's an Anglican church, and so it's the Anglican tradition, which is of course very close liturgically to the Catholic tradition. Yeah. And so the premise starts out on the first Sunday of Advent, the angel comes, and so this new pastor comes to town, who you find out later has sort of lost his faith. Yeah. But he comes to this town, be encouraged by this woman in the town to come, because he used to be a great preacher when she knew him. And he comes here, and because of he doesn't believe in miracles, and he comes to this town that all they do is believe in miracles, because it happens, it's real. Yes. And he comes before the first Sunday of Advent, and so throughout the movie, you see the pastor in the church lighting an Advent candle. And you know and talking about, here it's the first Sunday of Advent, and this is he gives a little sermon, and so you see this journey through Advent in this movie, which, I mean, can you think of another movie that has a journey of Advent?
No, I cannot.
And so one of the things we're excited about, because there's a lot of churches, some people that don't celebrate Advent, don't understand Advent, and so we think we're opening up a little window into some of those churches that don't understand the Advent season, to sort of see the importance of preparing. Yeah, right? That's very beautiful. What is the release date for the movie? November 22nd. November 22nd, which I think is right around the first Sunday of Advent.
Yeah, how beautiful.
So we're hoping that, you know, we'll really inspire some things. We were encouraged, focus on the family, which you know is an evangelical organization. Yes. They did their first Advent calendar last year.
No kidding.
And it sold out.
Wow.
So maybe this is an opportunity. Who
knows what's happening
You
here,
never know
Senator?
what can happen.
Yeah,
and so this is a beautiful thing. Yeah.
What a beautiful thing. And friends, you are a beautiful thing. We want you to give us a call here and join us live with our guest today, Senator Rick Santorum. Let me give you those numbers right now so you can be prepared. 1-800-221-9460. Let me give it to you again. It's 800-221-9460. If you are outside of North America, you can use this number, 205-271-2980. Let me give it to you again, 205-271-2980. When we come back from the break, Senator, we're going to give our viewers an opportunity to see, and our listeners an opportunity to hear the trailer for this beautiful,
just
beautiful
released,
movie.
By the way. Just released this week. Yes.
I know. I was so happy to have the opportunity to kind of premiere it,
I
so
think
to speak.
You may be the first
to
show it on television.
Well, I'll tell you this, we're going to be the first to show it full length.
Full length, absolutely. First to show it full length.
I think there was a little snippet the other day on a news
that's
show.
True. They had
I kind
one
of
on
caught it. I did catch
it. But they didn't have any sound or anything. So you're the first.
We're the first to get this good. We're going to be right back, friends. Stay with us. Pick up the phone, call us, 800-221-9460. Again, it's 800-221-9460. And if you're outside of North America, it's very simple, 205-271-2980. Again, it's 205-271-2980. We're going to be right back with our guest, Senator Rick Santorum. Stay with us. Welcome back, friends. We're visiting with our guest today, Senator Rick Santorum, and we're talking about politics, and we're talking about the way in which we can imbue the culture of the day with a faith and family message. As you know, Senator Rick Santorum has accepted a position as CEO of EchoLight Studios. The whole idea here is to bring back faith and family values to the entertainment industry. And we're so excited because we have an opportunity to show you, a really premiere trailer for the new movie coming out November 22nd, The Christmas Christmas Candle. This is, I guess, your first effort?
Our first broad theatrical release, that's right.
And we're very excited to be able to show it to you. And let's get that ready. I also want to give you the numbers. 1-800-221-9460 is the way that you can join us via telephone today. We're looking forward to receiving your calls. We're going to begin to field those the second half of the program. If you're outside of North America, here is your number. It's 205-271-2980. Again, 205-271-2980. Get your tissue ready. Let's watch the trailer for The Christmas Candle.
Might I offer you some assistance?
Where are you headed?
I'm headed to London by way of Gladbury. It's the Christmas season. The whole town's in a fuss.
Is it really so bad?
It is, especially this Christmas with the new minister, high and mighty from London.
Reverend High and Mighty at your service.
Welcome to Gladbury, home of the Christmas Candle.
Forgive my ignorance, but what is this Christmas candle?
The Christmas candle's no different than old wives' tales or your Bible stories.
Somebody's miracle is in this basket, and we won't let it go to waste. I'm praying for a husband by Easter.
All their hopes wrapped up in one candle.
It's high time that Gladbury see the light. You may have one candle to give, but I hope to give everyone a little light this Christmas.
Electricity in the church. Now this I have to see.
What is this light? Is it signs and wonders, angels and miracles? Of course not. Today marks the dawning of a new age.
I'm not the miracle man that you remember.
Your doubts don't trouble me, Reverend. On the contrary, they inspire my faith.
Gentle folks of Gladbury, welcome to this very special night.
The love I shared, the hope I had. Some things, they cannot be restored.
I do hope you're wrong.
I think you should stay just until Christmas. People need hope, and you can give it to them.
You really do want to help these people, don't you?
Of course I do.
I know just the person to give the candle to this year.
What's happening?
A miracle is happening.
It'll be a happy Christmas after all.
Well, it is impossible to watch that trailer, Senator, and not get tears in your eyes.
No.
I mean, it is beautiful, and we can just see the cinematic quality is excellent, and you've got a great cast of actors that are working with you.
We're really excited about, number one, really the great quality of the film. It's a beautiful film. I was able to see it yesterday on the big screen, and there wasn't a dry eye in the place, and it's just beautifully done. Just quality-wise, the acting is terrific. There's some exciting news, which you saw. Susan Boyle, the singer, makes her acting debut, and importantly, she also sings a beautiful song written for the movie. And it's a Christmas song, and it was such a beautiful song that Sony is putting it out. She has a Christmas album coming out, and that song is on the album.
Oh my goodness!
So
Wonderful.
you'll be able to see that. Comes out, I think, in October sometime, and so she's in the film. She has a small part, but a very beautiful part. She does, she's had some difficulties in her life, and she has some struggles, and she had her good days and bad days on the film, but she did an amazing job given all those things, and she sings like an angel.
Oh,
she really does. She sings like an angel, and this song, it'll get you all teared up. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful song.
I can just begin to imagine.
Yeah, it really is.
Well, we want to encourage all of you to get out and watch this beautiful film and to support this beautiful film, because if it's one thing that we need in our day and time, it is an entertainment industry that is infused with the higher ideals. We're looking forward to hearing from you right here on this special simulcast of Women of Grace live today. 1-800-221-9460. That's 800-221-9460 is the way that you can call us. If you're outside of North America, how about this number for you? 205-271-2980. 271-2980. And of course, Senator, I have to ask you, now, when are you going to make your debut in one of these EchoLight films here?
I'm not doing the Alfred Hitchcock thing, so.
You're not going to just show up
No, I'm not going to show up, unless they have a role for a politician giving a speech somewhere or something. I might, no. My job is to make sure that we, run a good business.
Yes.
Because this is a business. One of the things I stress to the employees there, yes, we want to make great inspirational films, and we want to make films that affirm the values of that make our country great. But we are a business, and the best way we can honor that and do that job is to be successful from a business standpoint, and be able to do more and more and bigger films and have a bigger impact. And the company is in Dallas, Texas, and I have to tell you. I'm convinced that we can create in Dallas what Nashville created in music, we can create in video. That we can be a counter of the middle part of the nation, if you will, counter to the Hollywoods and the New Yorks, just like Nashville has been the counter to the music industries on the coast, and make music and make film, I should say, that really hits the heartland of America.
Yeah, as you're speaking, I'm thinking to myself that's a very audacious goal.
Yeah.
This is a very big goal.
Look, I ran for president, so
Yes,
I'm not like someone
did.
who looks at and says, "Oh, then let's take on this little mountain. Let's take on the big mountains."
But what I want to say is that really speaks to a great virtue that you apparently have. Two of them. I'm going to embarrass you now. Do you mind?
Okay.
I'm going to do
I
it
hope
anyway.
my wife is watching.
Well, we'll make sure she gets a copy of the program. Okay.
That's good.
The first I want to say is magnanimity. Magnanimity, a great souledness, a desire to do great things for the honor and glory of God. We need that today. We need magnanimous people. I think Pope Francis recently actually spoke about it, but we talk about it through our Benedictine Leadership Institute for Women all of the time. It's one of the primary, most necessary virtues for servant leadership, and we see it so profoundly in our Blessed Lady. You are magnanimous. You have big, audacious goals. You're not afraid to go after them. You're not afraid to lay it down for the sake of the message that you bring. And you bring a wholesome message that helps people to live their lives better and to make them aspire to the greater things. The second is humility. Humility has to go with magnanimity. You recognize your gifts and talents. You use your gifts and talents. You depend completely upon the will of the Father to guide and to lead. And that's marvelous. I see that in you, and I'm not throwing platitudes at you. I really am not. You demonstrate that, and you're demonstrating that through EchoLight.
Well, but for my wife, those virtues would not be present.
Well, see?
Because number one, she definitely does help me stay humble, and grounds me, because you got the world out there, building you up and tearing you down at the same time, and she's always there to make sure that I don't get too high or too low, right? I mean, she senses when the last few days have been tough days for a couple reasons, and she called 3 times this morning and just bucking me up. I went to Mass and prayed for you, and offered my communion for you, things like that, and she shares the same vision. She knows that God has blessed us in a lot of ways, and that we can't just go and hide our light under the bushel. That we have to put it on a lampstand, and so she's and the sacrifices she makes, I'm here.
Yeah.
She's home with Bella, and doing raising 7 kids, and that's been a tough part of the whole routine, and she's not here getting the lights on her and being told about the great virtues that she has, but she shares those with me and has more than I do.
Well, let me just say, you've just demonstrated those 2 virtues again. And I will say this, Adam, when God put him into a sleep and he created woman, Adam looked at Eve and said, "At last, this is bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh." He found himself in her. And I think that it is the call of the woman to be the North Star for her man. It's not her call to seduce her as the entertainment industry, or to seduce him as the entertainment industry would have us believe today. And that which is lauded and applauded in our culture is the seductress. Woman is called to inspire her man. And when she inspires him, I'm telling you, the entire civilization is raised up. Your wife, so beautifully, is doing that for you. She's giving you the capacity to go out there and to make a big difference in the world today.
Absolutely.
And so we do owe her a debt of gratitude.
And I know this, for women everywhere, is that when they play that role, they get no attention and credit for playing that role in the world today. And the seductress gets credit because she's out there and she's public, and but that quiet inspiration and that I talked about is just that, unseen and not unappreciated, but certainly from the standpoint of the public, unappreciated. So you're saying that really means a lot. Thank you.
Oh, well, you're so very welcome. It's so very true. Well, we have so many calls coming in, and I'm so excited about that. And friends, we want to offer you an opportunity to give us a call to 1-800-221-9460. Again, 800-221-9460 is the way that you can reach us if you're here in North America. We certainly do invite you to pick up the phone and to give us a call. We're going to be going to a break in just a minute, but I do want to remind you that Senator Rick Santorum is with us today. He has accepted a position as CEO of EchoLight Studios, bringing us marvelous, marvelous opportunities for faith and family to be built up in our culture of the day. So we invite you to give him a call. In addition to that, when we come back, we're going to have another guest on the set with us. This is by the Senator's special request. Request that this young woman be with us on the set, so we're looking forward to that. Stay with us. We're going to be right back. You are watching Women of Grace live today and listening to us via radio. We'll be right back. Welcome back, friends. You're watching a very special edition of Women of Grace today. It's a live broadcast, and we're simulcasting through radio as well. We are so blessed and honored to have with us Senator Rick Santorum, and we want to give you some numbers that you can use to call us and ask your questions. 800-221-9460. That's 800-221-9460. That's the number to use if you're in the North America area. If you're outside of it, we've got a number for you too. We don't mind you calling. Would be happy to hear from you. 205-271-2980. It's 205-271-2980. I would like to introduce you to a very special person who has joined us on this set. This is my daughter, Jessica Colon.
Hi,
she
Mom.
works with Senator, hi honey, she works with Senator Santorum through Patriot Voices, and the Senator requested that she be on the set today. She's looking a little tenuous and not overjoyed with it, but here she is, and we're so happy. We're so happy that you're out here, Jess. Thank you so much for coming.
It's actually a true honor to be sitting with two people who are trying to save America. And for over 25 years, you've both been fighting for the soul of this country and for the issues that are important to the younger generations and the older generations and things that keep the American dream alive. So it's an honor to be with you both.
Oh, well, thank you, dear.
You did a good job.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, her father was a marvelous man, and through the grace of God, we did the best we could to parent our children well. So it's a testimony to that, I think. Well, we've got Patty calling us from Pennsylvania today. Good morning, Patty. How are you?
Good morning, Johnnette. I'm excellent.
Oh,
and
thanks.
You?
What part of PA are you from?
I'm from northeastern Pennsylvania, and the senator represented me. And so I am thankful that he was such a wonderful senator while he was with us.
Thank you.
Do you have a question for the senator today, Patty?
I do. I'm interested in knowing who began the company that the senator works for, and also what is their background.
Yeah, the company was started by 4 different people. Two guys who had an existing company that were in the film business, and then 2 folks who were sort of in the Christian production world. And they started the company about a year ago, and I got involved trying to help raise some money to help fund their films. And the more and more I got involved, the more I loved what the mission of the company was, and I felt I could bring a whole level of attention to the company that they weren't able to get under the existing leadership, and so anyway, it gives us an opportunity because we have this other company which produces all different kinds of films, but we're a separate company. We're a faith company, and they help us with our distribution, just like For example, Sony Provident, which is their faith aspect, has Sony help them with their distribution. We do the same thing, but our company is solely focused on making inspirational films, family films, and films that have faith as an important element of them.
Yeah. Where can people see the movie, Senator?
It goes in release on November 22nd. There'll be a few theaters on November 15th. We'll have sort of a limited release in selected theaters, but November 22nd is when it's going to be widely released. And we're hoping 400 to 500 theaters around the country, which means most of the major metropolitan areas will have a screen or two or three. And depending on the reaction we get between now and then, and how much momentum we have, we may go wider if there's enough support there to make that happen.
Is there a way, for example, that a grassroots effort could be of assistance? Is there something?
Absolutely.
Can we mobilize our women of grace out there to try to make this happen?
Yeah, absolutely. There's our website is EchoLight.com. You can go there, or you can go to the Christmas Candle Movie. It's a long one. .com. Okay. We'll be posting up where the theaters are probably in the next week to 10 days. We'll have a first announcement of how many theaters, what theaters we're going to be in. And if you don't see one in your area, then get in touch with us and look, if the local community can organize and say, hey, we'll make sure that there are 1,000 tickets or whatever, so then we'll put it in your theater. We just have to make sure there's enough support, particularly in smaller towns, because believe it or not, just to put a movie into a theater costs $1,000 for one theater, one screen. And so it can
For what period of time is that?
For a week.
Oh, for a week, okay.
Yeah, so it's expensive to do that, and if you don't have enough support, then you're in a, particularly in a smaller town, at $10 a ticket or $8 a ticket, you need a lot of folks to go see the movie.
Yeah. Senator, do you think there'll be additional competition for the Christmas movie?
Well, the interesting is it is the only Christmas movie coming out this Christmas.
Oh, wow,
and
amazing.
Think about this, Johnnette. When's the last time a movie about Christmas has come out during Christmas? Not the Santa Claus, not Home Alone.
Yes.
I'm talking about a movie about, this was a movie about Christmas. This is a movie about what actually Christmas is about. It's about hope. It's about people struggling. And, one of the things in this movie that I really appreciate in the movie is about people who are questioning their faith at this time, who have struggled and have lost. And my goodness, we have so many people in this country who are struggling and have lost and do, have questions about whether God is there for them or not. And particularly during the Christmas season, as you know, suicide rate's the highest during the Christmas season. People who feel like God has left them, and so we think this is really a beautiful movie that can touch people of faith and of no faith, to sort of bring them back and put life in proper perspective, with Jesus in it.
Amen to that one. 1-800-221-9460. That's 800-221-9460 is the way that you can ask a question of the Senator today. We look forward to hearing from you. 205-271-2980 if you're outside of North America. Again, that number for you is 205-271-2980. Our guest, Senator Rick Santorum. We're talking about The Christmas Candle, an absolutely beautiful movie coming out this Christmas, being released November 22nd. It's about Advent. I don't know in the history of entertainment industry through films that we've ever had a movie about Advent in particular. Anastasia is with us from Ohio this morning. Good morning, Anastasia.
Good morning, Johnnette, and good morning, Rick.
Good morning.
The program's wonderful, and the movie looks absolutely awesome.
It's a beautiful movie.
My question is, do you anticipate possibly any kind of censorship down the road for certain films that might want to promote a positive angle on some of the issues that are kind of plaguing us today, same-sex marriage or cohabitation or any of the drug problems? I mean, is there any kind of movies that might be able to present those problems with a spiritual solution?
Yeah, again, one of the things that we want to focus on is talking about how faith is real in people's lives, and how people, in a lot of the movies we're going to be doing are true stories, and because I believe that's the best way to communicate how God works in people's lives, and how people are, get through difficult times because of their faith. And so there may be, we don't have anything right now in the works that deal with those issues, but we first and foremost want to make sure that we make entertaining content, because we have to make sure people want to see it
Right.
and be entertained by it. Secondly, we want to be authentic about the faith in these films. Faith will be in every one of these films in one way or another, and because Hollywood doesn't do faith.
Right.
They do inspiration, which is great, but they don't do faith. And so we're going to do inspiration, but faith will be part of it. In some cases, it'll be very overt in its discussion. Other times, it'll be much more subtle. And we'll deal with all of the issues that people have to deal with in their lives as these different films come forward, and how people have faith to get through these difficult times.
1-800-221-9460. Again, that's 800-221-9460 is the way that you can join us. If you're in North America, guess what? If you're outside of North America, we've got a number for you too. It's 205-271-2980. 205-271-2980. So that leads me to ask this question, and my question for you is, it sounds as though you might very well have an itinerary in terms of topics and movies that you're looking to produce in the not too distant future.
We do. We have one film that's out right now that you can actually see. It's a great little film done by a church called Watermark Church in Dallas, Texas. They produced this film. It's based on the biblical Old Testament Joseph story, and it's called Seasons of Gray, a modern day Joseph story, and it's set in Dallas, Texas, and it chronicles this journey of this young man, paralleling the journey of Joseph in the Old Testament, and it's a really neat little movie, and we've screened it probably for the last month and a half or so, and the response has been wonderful. That's a movie that if you wanted to bring to your community, go Seasons of Gray, Gray, seasonsofgray.com, and you'll see a little banner at the top that says "Bring Seasons of Gray to your community." The way we're releasing this movie, unlike the Christmas Candle, which is going to be in theaters and we're going to put it in theaters, is that you can actually bring it to your community by signing up and saying, I want to bring it to the Cinemark Theater on October 10th at 7 o'clock in my community, and you submit that to us through the website, and we set it up for you. Mm-hmm. And all you have to do is, between now and then, sell enough tickets to book the theater. And so it's usually 60 tickets, usually is what it takes, depending on the size of the theater. And so you would tell your people at church, say, hey, look, go and buy a $8 ticket, $10 ticket, whatever it is, and if you get enough tickets and you sell enough tickets, the theater books, and you have your own private showing at the movie theater.
Oh, how very nice is that?
And so it's a really great. I'm telling you, you really will enjoy this film. You will laugh a lot. There's some really funny parts of this movie, and of course it goes through how Joseph, as he did, went through struggle after struggle, getting beat up by his brothers, thrown away and in jail and accused of a crime he didn't commit, and all these things, and yet he holds on to the only thing he can hold on to help him come out of it, and that's Jesus and his faith, and it's a beautifully done film, and I encourage people to go to the website, seasonsofgray.com.
Excellent, excellent. You're smiling, Jessica. Have you seen it?
Great movie.
Is it a great movie?
Lesson.
Good, good.
It really is.
Well, we invite you to do that then, friends. Go right out there to seasonsofgray.com
right,
and see what you can do to bring that to your community. There's so many ways in which we can work in this new evangelization. I mean, there's numbers of ways in which we can be those purveyors of the good news in a culture that is desperate to hear it, just doesn't know it needs to hear it. Jennifer from West Virginia with us right now. Good morning, Jennifer.
Hi, good morning, Johnnette. Good morning, Senator. How are you?
Good morning, Jennifer.
This is a wonderful program. What my question is for the Senator is, I'm in a ministry group here in our local town, and it is really expanding, and we're on the verge of great things. And what my question is for you is, do you find that you are a part of a huge Christian movement that is going on right now? This country is so thirsty for more movies like this, different people teaching in different ways, and to learn a different lifestyle. Do you find that with the Duck Dynasty and the Bible series and the success that they have had, that you're on the verge of something much larger than what you even anticipate at this point?
I certainly pray for that. I pray that God has led me here to provide. I always say provide the tools for you, Jennifer, and others to use to evangelize. I mean, it's the new evangelization you talked about, but when it comes to this television screen, people need content. I mean, our kids they're locked in. They want that content. They want to go to a movie and be cool and see the films. And so I felt the obligation to produce really good quality content. And I always say I go to movies that, there are things in that movie that you hide your kids from and say, don't look at that, the bad word, don't, but you go, why? Because there's really good, it's a really good movie. It's a great story, it's entertaining, it's funny, it's whatever. And so we go, even though we know that there's things in there we don't like. And that's how Hollywood changes us. Mm-hmm. They put some good, and then just a little bit of stuff that just, changes how. Well, imagine if we make really good content that people who don't agree with us will go see. Why? Because it's really good.
Yeah.
And it's entertaining, it's fun, and everybody else is going to see it. Just like Duck Dynasty. People watch it, they don't agree necessarily with, but it's entertaining, it's fun, and people want to watch it. And secondly, this is important. This is really important for you, Jennifer, that you bring up this point. We need to make content that affirm people in the values they have.
That is exactly right, Senator.
So how many times do I I sit there and you watch television, you watch a movie, and my kids never see anybody like them.
Yeah.
They don't see anybody like them who has their values, their virtues. And if you do see someone like them, they're ostracized and criticized for having those things. They're never affirmed.
Yeah.
And so sometimes you just have to make movies to affirm people in their behavior, in addition to trying to change people's behavior.
That's right. So much of the new evangelization is, repairing this Christian fabric of society. Yes, most definitely. That's a big part of it, and we've got to do that. But in addition to that, we've got to keep the troops encouraged, Amen. Right? And that's what we want to do, and that's what you're striving to do here. One other comment I just want to make before we go to the break, and I'm getting signals it's time to go to the break, and we're going to go to a break in just a second, but I really want to say this, and this is what I want to say. I believe that when you put the good stuff out there, something happens interiorly in the person. It resonates with them. They feel good inside, and that good that they feel inside becomes something that they long for.
I guarantee you,
give them a thirst for
both
it.
Those movies, one's a little movie and it's not a big production. That you saw how beautifully produced Christmas Candlelight. This is a smaller movie made by, but again, it'll touch your heart. Both these movies will touch your heart and inspire you. And I just, I'm really proud of both of them, and there's more to come. Yeah.
Well, we've got to go to a break now, unfortunately. We're going to go to the break. When we come back, and we want you to be with us here, too. And so you can do that by calling us at 800-221-9460, 800-221-9460. Outside of North America, it's 205-271-2980. Our guest today, Senator Rick Santorum. Joining us on set today, my daughter, Jessica Colon. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
There you go.
Welcome back, friends. We're visiting with our guest today, Senator Rick Santorum. We're so happy that you're joining us live here, simulcasting through both television and radio. My daughter, Jessica Colon, has joined us on the set here, and she is affiliated with the Senator through Patriot Voices. We do want to let you know that if you want information about Patriot Voices, you can get out there to patriotvoices.com. That's patriotvoices.com. Many, many calls coming in today. 800-221-9460. 800-221-9460. Outside of North America, it's 205-271-2980. We have Phyllis giving us a call today from New York. Let's go to Phyllis. Hi, Phyllis. How are you?
Hi, Johnnette.
Hi. What's your question, sweetie?
My question is, the Senator traveling across our great nation, if he's seeing significant spiritual health and people determined to overcome the propaganda from, government takeover, government involvement.
Thank you, Phyllis. I ran for president, and I think I would travel to 38 states, and I can tell you I came away feeling great about this country. There are There's a great wellspring of people across this country who understand the peril the country's in, understand what's going on to the culture, what's going on with our country, and as a result, I feel like they just need vision, leadership, and some ammunition, if you will. And politically, I don't think we've been blessed with a whole lot of great leadership as a vision for the country from those who stand for the values that made our country great. And I don't think we've nominated very many for president in the last couple of elections. And so that's one of the reasons I decided to get involved in the political process in the first place, because I really felt that someone who stood up for the traditional values of this country is what needs to be heard and will motivate. The other thing is that people feel like they're alone. They feel like they're out there just nobody shares their values, and that's one of the reasons that we decided to get involved in this in both the political side, to make sure that they, through Patriot Voices, make sure they felt they had a voice, and also to get involved in creating content so that would affirm them and that they could use to help spread the truth.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. I just want to let you know, we've had so many callers calling today who are great admirers of yours, and I think that what they're expressing in that particular vocabulary is the fact that they see what it is that you're doing, Senator, how you're trying to make a difference both politically now and within the private sector, because this is a both and, not an either or.
That's right.
And the effort here is to continue to help you to know that so many are praying for you, so many are supporting you, and we want to assure you that our viewers are giving us that word.
Can I just, if anybody says, people always say, what can I do for you?
Mm-hmm.
And the first and foremost thing is you can pray for me, and I can tell you, particularly getting into this area of entertainment, Satan does not want you to succeed.
No.
He didn't want this network to succeed, and I know he put up lots of obstacles in the way, but people prayed through it. And so I just play, it's EchoLight Studios is the name of the company. So please pray for EchoLight Studios, pray for me and for all of the folks who work there. Pray for my family who is in the crosshairs along with me. And I can tell you, as someone who, because I know this country prayed for my daughter and prayed for us and our family. I'll go, to New York City and hop in a cab, and someone will look at me and says, I sort of know you, and I'll say, I'm Rick Santorum, and the first thing they'll say is, how's your daughter? Mm-hmm. And I prayed for her, and I'm just telling you, I know you know this, because you talk about the power of prayer. It's real. It's
very real. We've been standing on it for a long, long time. Yeah. Let's go to Joe. I think we have enough time to get Joe in here. We've got 3 minutes left in the show here, but we want to get to Joe from Michigan. Good morning, Joe.
Mr. Santorum.
Hi, Joe.
Great to speak with you.
Thank you.
I really, really appreciate your willingness to go out there and speak the truth. So I just got 2 quick questions. One, obviously the progressive system in our country has said that the country has changed and shifted dramatically. Do you believe that this country has shifted and that there's no true real way to bring back where we used to be as Christian nation under God? And the last question, do you guys have any other movies like The Passion or similar to that, or according to the Bible, that maybe on the back burner that you're thinking about doing?
Joe, we're going to have to hold you there because we've got 2 minutes, and I want the senator to have a chance to answer.
Well, has the country changed? Yes. The country's changed. Give me the storytellers, and I will control the country in a generation. The storytellers of America are Hollywood and people that, you let your children, and we watch things on the screens that we would never let into our front door. Never let people who said those things or did those things come into our house, but they do. They come into our house every day. And so, of course, it's going to have a change. The question is, are we going to fight back? Because there is clearly an attempt to try to shift this country in the other direction, and people are passionate about it. They fight about it. They look at corporations, corporate policies. All are moving left and on marriage and benefits and abortion and RU46 and all these things. Why? Because the left hammers away at the corporate leadership. Do we? Do employees in those companies who feel differently, do they? No, they don't. And so we have to fight within our educational system. We have to fight within the boardrooms and in our businesses. We have to fight in politics. We have to fight in entertainment. That's how we're going to win. Is that everybody has to want it and have the same passion that the folks on the other side to change the country. We now have to have the passion to put truth back into the country.
Well, we know how the story ends.
We do.
But we have a part to play in that story. And I want to thank you, Senator, so much
Thanks, Johnnette.
for rallying and being there for us as a great leader, as somebody who shows us the way in which we need to go. May we do the same, right, friends? May we do the same. God's asking you today, are you willing to stand for truth? Are you willing to be that voice crying out in the wilderness to make way for my son? Are you willing? And I sincerely hope so. It's been great being with you today. It's been great having this opportunity. And so until we are together again, may the abundant life of Jesus Christ be yours. May God bless you. And do keep the Senator, his family in your prayers, and tuck us in too. Bye-bye now.